Prince Reza Pahlavi just had a speech in Germany, in Berlin, and there's one clip from it that has gone viral. The reporter asks Prince Reza Pahlavi this: "Many people around the world think you are an Israeli asset. Are you?" And the way he responds is so epic that I just wanted to share that with you guys. So the reporter is basically seems to be anti-Israeli, calling him an Israeli asset, but the response, I mean, it back whatever, I don't know what that reporter was trying to get from asking that question, but whatever the goal was, it backfired. Let me actually play this. Jews and Israelis, not just Israelis. Watch this.
Now I see.
I have a personal question, since we can see outside that you're here with the help of the lobby group Europe-Israel Press Association. The Israeli government supports you taking over in Iran, and that's the same government that started a war of aggression against your country with the US. So many people around the world think that you are an Israeli asset. Are you?
Of course not. But I'm a friend to Israel and the Jews, and I tell you why. Because again, as a descendant of Cyrus the Great, we take pride of the fact that the very cornerstone of human rights happened at the time that Cyrus the Great, through his cylinder, which is displayed worldwide, that is referred to in the whole of nations as the United Nations, was what coined the very principles of liberty when he freed the Jewish slaves in Babylon and helped them rebuild their temples in Jerusalem. Iranians and Jews have a biblical relationship. In fact, the only two countries that can claim that. In modern history, Iran wasn't the only country in the Middle East that harbored Jews that were escaping Hitler and his regime and were given refuge in Iran. That's part of our history. That's part of our tradition of harboring persecuted people. Jews in Iran were free to practice their faith before the revolution. I'm fighting for their rights to be restored, and that of any other religion in Iran, because one of the cornerstones of human rights should be protecting people in their freedom of religion. That's what I stand for. And I don't need to be an agent of anyone to do that, but I'm an agent of my people.
Wow. I don't need to be an agent of anyone to do that, but I am the agent of my people. Again, the question was, many people around the world think you are an Israeli asset. Are you? That was such an epic response. That was such an epic response. I loved it. I couldn't, I don't even need to add anything more. That is going viral. So many people are sharing it. And I just wanted to share it here with you guys to see what you guys think. Usually, when somebody asks a question like that, I have a lot to say in response. But because Princess of Pahlavi's answer was already so epic, I don't feel the need to add anything to that. So I just wanted to see what you guys think about it. Danny?
Hila first.
Or Hila? Hila?
Shalom. Hi.
Shalom.
I saw it today. I was very impressed with him, but I think he's too much of a prince. He's too royalty. He's too polite. I feel like he needs more aggression, but other than that, I think he needs to step up with the aggression. I mean, just attacking this woman. You clearly have an agenda with your question. I love that he's royal and he's like patriotic and he's like very polite and kind and calm. And it's a good quality for a prince, but now he's a warrior prince. He needs a bit more. That's what I think. But I like the message.
Right. I mean, a lot of people have said that about him, but I honestly think that his tone has helped him so far, right? Because there are the calmness of it makes it seem like he's just telling you what is factual rather than having
emotional response.
Like, these are just the facts, right? And also, a lot of people in Iran who are against him were suggesting that his tone makes him look weak. But I think his calmness has made a lot of Iranians trust him because it doesn't look like he has his own personal agenda. His calmness has made him more trustworthy among many Iranian people, especially because many Iranian people have been sensitive to the idea that somebody will might have their own power hungry agenda because of their experience with Khomeini. So him being so calm has made a lot of Iranian people's guards come down and increase his base of support. I mean, that is what I think has happened because
From
he thought.
the inside or from the outside? Because from the outside, I can see what you're saying.
Hmm.
But I think from people in the inside, they need more, maybe force, or they, because they live in a very more violent, more force reality, you know?
But they also deal with a lot of suspicion because many people who they trusted before ended up backstabbing them. So somebody that comes off as I'm these are the facts, I'm just here to help, I don't have my own agenda, actually has worked so far in the increase in his level of popularity,
Okay.
right?
I have a
Yeah.
follow-up question. Do you think there is maybe people from the inside of America, systems, journalism, that are bad actors, and right now they're gonna push more, like escalate also their political media fight?
Yes, I mean, are you saying would are many people who are against them, are they going to use their their propaganda to fight
Yeah,
against Mrs.
maybe
Pahlavi?
this
Yeah.
this journalist was just the first that got encountered
Oh yeah.
with him, and now we're gonna face more of this kind of.
Oh yeah, we have though. We have forever. Like this is like he's constantly being attacked all the time by but honestly, I think the attacks help us both internally and externally because internally the attacks against Princess of Pahlavi are the same people with the ideology that is responsible for the Islamic Revolution. So we always point out that the right people hate him. These are the people that if they were supporting him, we would be worried, right? So that's internally we say that, and externally it's the same thing. We tell foreigners like, look, the exact most people who hate Princess of Pahlavi hate Israel, right? So the fact that their Venn diagram matches very closely should be a good sign to, like, for example, Israelis, that Princess of Pahlavi is the right person, because we don't want people who are anti-Israel to support Princess of Pahlavi, because then you guys might be feeling like, why are they supporting him, right? Why are these all these anti-Israeli people supporting Princess of Pahlavi? So to I think it's an advantage that anti-Israeli people attack Princess of Pahlavi, so you guys could see that the right people hate him. We want them to hate him so that we could demonstrate what side we are on.
Yeah, I
Thank
get you.
you.
Okay, Noah is next to respond.
I
Noah.
Yep, it's me. I haven't seen that before. I mean, that was I only saw the viral one where he got egg. I'm not egg, but tomato. But I love his response to that reporter. That's his classic style. He's always been calm. He's always been collective, and I love that about our prince. He's even when he first gave his speech in 1980 ascending to be crown prince, he's always been like that. So I have nothing more to add either, but that.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, Guy.
A couple of things. I had something somewhat, in some ways similar, in some ways a different response to Hila. The amount of brain rot within these journalists after he explicitly laid everything out in the first 20 minutes was frankly disgusting to me. Like the level of being stuck up your own ass that you can't separate your preconceived notions to what you're being told and presented and challenged to go and look up yourself, to then be nitpicky and making statements in the guise of questions. I wanted to throw up. That said, so I in a sense I had the same feeling as Hila, but in that I wished he would have gone harder, but also, like, that's for my own sake. Like, I wish he would have done that. And we definitely can't judge his conduct in terms of his feeling, like how he's perceived inside Iran, because we know how he's perceived inside Iran. Whatever he's doing is clearly working. The one more thing I want to point out, which I don't know if you mentioned it here yet, the fact that someone got close to him is, and you Goldie mentioned it a bit as well, but it's really alarming in the sense that it could have been a test. Like, let's see how close we can get without a weapon, so that when we actually try to take him down, we're going to get closer. And I don't think he can continue relying on local security forces. I think he needs his own specialized security crew.
So I haven't shown that here yet. Now that you mention it, let me show it so people know what we're talking about. After he came out of the conference, somebody got close to him and attacked him with tomato juice, and people are thinking that if it's this easy to get to him and throw tomato juice at him, then it would have been as easy to just get to him and shoot him with a gun. So a lot of people are concerned. So let me just share here what happened.
Nein, die hupen wegen. Ah Gott, da in der Mitte.
Einmal weg, einmal weg! Hey, einmal weg! Weg, weg, weg!
They got the man.
Ja, ist ja gut! Langsam! Auf die Knie! Versuch's!
So I don't know if we saw exactly what happened. There were some other angles of this.
Da in der Mitte.
This is the guy. This is the guy right here. Let's throw it. Yeah, so that's what happened, and yeah, this is a major concern. I mean, an entire nation's hope rests on this, on this man being their leader. So the fact that it's so easy to get to him and shoot and do something is really concerning. We need much better security for him right now. So I agree with you.
The way that I interpret the reporter's question is, one, he claims that Israel is the enemy of Iranians, and then two, he says, are you a friend of Israel and therefore an enemy of Iranians? While I like that Pahlavi took the opportunity to highlight the long-standing love between Iranian and Jewish people, as someone who likes seeing questions answered, I wish he a suggestion that Israel is the enemy of the Iranian people.
I mean, that was the best way to show that Israel is not the enemy of the Iranian people, by showing that not only we're not enemies, we're BFFs. Right.
Well, he talked more about how Iran shelters Jews, and we know that among those circles, people like to pretend that Israel and Jews are two separate entities with separate interests. And also, he could have said something about how Israel is attacking specifically the IRGC and repression forces and not just arbitrarily attacking Iranians.
I mean, here's the thing. Whenever a question like that is asked, you could basically give a 1-hour lecture, right? So it's not about saying everything you could say. It's about what would have the most impact. And I think that, like, correcting people, it would, like, saying people who want to separate Jews to Israel, wanting to respond to that, people wanting to respond to the attacks being on the Islamic Republic, not Iranian people, you could respond to that. But I think he picked the best thing, like among all the options that he could have picked. I think he decided to focus on how close the Iranian people and Israelis are now and have been throughout history. And I think if he had to pick one, because you can't just do all of them, I think he picked the best option when it comes to responding. Does that make sense? Oh, Danny got disconnected.
I think that a lot of politicians around the world, when they get accused of such thing, they have this weird temptation of saying No, I'm not paid by Jews. I don't even like them. Like it's like just to prove I no. And he's like he was like more centered, more focused. No, it was like no, but we're like, we have like this special. You know what? All that he said, I think it's actually very brave. And another thing is yeah, you cannot go into like a whole argument and all of that. No one will listen to you after a while. And for people inside Iran, I can definitely see how he's like calm and collected approach and classy in a way can be a very, very good influence because they're used to like fiery speeches and people saying against stuff and and he's like more he's more like a politician, like, but in a good way. Like, if you want to say the opposite of Trump in a way. Not that I'm against Trump, but he's like, you can count on him. He doesn't change. He knows what to say. He knows what's acceptable. He can represent you. It's like, it's a very stabilizing thing, I think.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
also to add to that, a lot of us might say like he should have said this, he should have said that. But right now, this answer is going viral and a lot of people are appreciating it, right? So it seems to be the thing you needed to say for it to go viral. And I think if he referred to the military operations, it wouldn't have been received as well as going back to our deep historical bonds and all the examples of our connection as two nations with each other. I think that is a more positive message rather than trying to defend these little attacks here and there, because it's a message of connection and love. And I think people love to share positive messages. And I think the fact that he turned something negative into a complete message of connection and love, and connection, made it such a more beautiful video than going over like, oh well, they're attacking this, not attacking that. I think that would have taken away from how beautiful and that response ended up being, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, and once you're in a position of like defending yourself, you lost. It's
Right.
and it's really brave nowadays to be like to say what he said. Like it's really brave. Whatever you think about it.
It's really sad that you have to be brave to say I love Israel. Like that's right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
literally no other country in the world, like if you say I love that country, like, oh wow, that's so brave that you say that.
How can you not hate them?
Yeah, like, hi,
Yeah.
oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
And Samantha is next.
Danny,
Oh,
I
I
didn't
was
hear
gonna
Danny.
say, yeah, like the enemy of your enemy. You gotta keep in mind it's not always your friend, cause like, what's it called? Like, I hate Ben Gvir, but like, I'm pretty sure most anti-Zionists also would hate Ben Gvir. So, yeah, just because like, what's it called? People who hate Israel hate Reza Pahlavi doesn't really like necessarily make that like him good. Like I support Reza Pahlavi for Iran, but like I'm just saying.
Well,
Not...
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying just because people who hate Israel also hate Prince Reza Pahlavi, that means that you should support him. But it helps. It suggests that it suggests that it's an indication that you should look at this person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm not saying that's all you need to know, but it does add to the weight of points that you have in his favor. It is better than having anti-Israelis love him. Obviously, it's a better situation to be in than that. That's what I'm suggesting. Like people who are against Israel, I don't want them to be supporters of Princess of Pahlavi. I would rather having them be against Princess of Pahlavi. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're also correct. Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, Jeffrey.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yay! I was just gonna add to like Samantha's thing. It was a very Irish saying that you said, which is the enemy of your enemy can still be your enemy. Right? I don't know. It kind of made me think of that. I just wanted to test my mic. Thanks, guys.
Okay, that's good.
Right.